Hello, everybody. Pleased to meet you all. My name is Melanie Harwood, and I'm here with Denise Meisner. Now, we're going to be telling you a little bit about how the Sustainable Schools Virtual Summit came about and why we've set this up. And then we're also going to be telling you a little bit about Educate Global and how our journey has brought us to here. Now, just over 2.5 years ago, in 2017, April 2017, I attended a dinner where I met Angus Mackay from UNCC Learn, and we were talking about connecting these schools that were having Skype sessions where the children in Switzerland were Skyping children in Ivory Coast. And I think we realized, Denise and I, from our own background, from my background, delivering our handwriting scheme to thousands of schools throughout the United Kingdom, we knew that we had to deliver teacher training. We had to upskill teachers to become those specialist teachers. So what we did was, I'm just trying to think about the whole process. Denise, we had lots and lots of emails going backwards and forwards. And then Angus said, would you come and present your ideas to our team? And we didn't quite reckon on there being like 30 agencies that all feed into that one little team in Geneva. But Denise and I went over to Geneva and we delivered a talk, sort of a training over 4 days. And we came away with a partnership with UNCC Learn. And that was really the beginning of our journey, because we were still quite unsure back then, weren't we, Denise, as to what the climate change teacher course would be. And it was during those few days, that was when we were shown that website, which was created by UNCC Learn for LDC countries, so developing countries, for their regional governments, local councils. And we took 5 of their existing courses and we converted those and rebuilt them and called them the Educate Global Climate Change Teacher Course. Now, we've come a long way since then, haven't we, Denise? So would you like to tell us where, what you think about where we were there and then where we are now? It's a whole different ball game, isn't it? What are your thoughts on it, Denise? It's quite incredible.
Well, our intention has always been to ramp up the availability of government agencies, experts. They have 91 experts around the world, different countries, and to deliver that amazing information to the teachers and the pupils in schools, because we want the children who are spending their entire lifespan in the climate change era to be climate literate, to be able to work and generate green solutions, to be able to be part of the new economy. And in order to bridge the gap between a government agency and a school, we wanted to be that bridge. And so we went through our process of boots on the ground and our social media avenues and our platform with Educate Global. And we also responded, like you said, to the feedback from the teachers.
Mm-hmm. So when do you remember when we first built it, and everybody said it, we did sort of like split testing with a few head teachers, and they came back and they said, I'm not going to name the name of the head teacher. She got upset with me. She said, no one's going to do that course. It's too difficult. So we had a look at the UN's portal and we said, okay, all right. And we rebuilt the entire, those 5 courses, we rebuilt them into audio visual versions. But then what we did was we also we paid the UN for a joint portal so that our teachers, we could know the teachers were going in there. Unfortunately, we don't have admin access to it. And we had a whole lot of issues with that portal, but we're not going to go into that right now. We launched our climate change teacher course on the 22nd of April, 2019. and nobody came. Do you remember that? And I was like, what are we going to do? No one's interested. So what really we then had to learn how to use Twitter direct messaging, and it was a fantastic learning curve for us, because we were then communicating directly with teachers saying, please, can you do this course? Just tell us what you think of this. Do you think it could help? And that course, I say that with brevity, went viral. So we realized that the need was there. We first launched it in December, was it November, December, in Katowice in Poland at COP24 with Angus and Hannah Jane and myself. And I remember, I've got to put that footage in here, or I've got to give you all access to it, with Angus saying, just 80 schools in the United Kingdom. And I think they thought we would go away, didn't they, Denise? Because I mean, anybody that's listening to this, have you ever tried to get something into 80 schools in the United Kingdom? Not possible. And it just went woof. It was almost like somebody set something alight, and it just took off. But it took off far too quickly. And we were hanging on by the seat of our pants, really. And we were incredibly lucky that a young team leader joined us. We had Tim Collins came along, and who's our resident polymath, and who's our current CTO. And he said, look, ladies, you ladies need some help here. And he helped us build a support system. So he built us the support desk, and then he said, oh, I remember, I'm not going to name the name, but we were going to deliver to the first 80 schools. We were going to give them a membership portal, where they could go and deliver lessons and create lessons. And it just did not work. We were using that over the summer, and it was just, and I was tearing my hair out thinking, what we're going to do. And you said to me, it's okay, something's going to come up. And that was when Tim said, right, let's build our very own membership, our closed social membership portal. And amazingly so, we built that. And that, I'm going to share my screen and just show you what that has morphed into just in the interim, really, which is pretty cool, I must say. I'm very proud of it. So what we have is this what we call the app.educateglobal.org. This was what Tim helped us build. And this beautiful baby here has become its own monster entirely, because you can translate this entire site into any one of these 54 languages instantly, because we had the experience where so many teachers came in from around the world that we couldn't cope with the amount of languages and the requirements that were coming in, which is a good thing, because we had a great learning curve. Now, we also then built a new website. Denise and I said to Tim, right, we're going to move away, because we were the UNCC Teacher Academy. And things started growing and developing very quickly. And it was the feedback from the teachers, really, that was very interesting. Because remember, Denise, we had so many teachers having direct messaging with us, and our Facebook group was busy. And they were asking us for it was emotional support more than anything. And we found that there was this definite balancing act. Those schools those teachers that were incredibly passionate about delivering climate literacy, but they were not being supported by the school leadership. And we found that we were spending far too much time supporting this particular group of teachers, where we knew that if the head teacher was not behind this, it was not going to happen. It was going to be that much harder for them. So we then made a very tough decision, which I think was the best one, really, was we said, okay, we are going to have a particular structure. This has to be, your head teacher has to nominate the climate change lead. And we launched that at COP25. I'm going to share our success path document with all of you. So nobody else has seen this. You guys are the very, very first to see this. So we now deliver Educate Global to primary and elementary schools, secondary or high schools, further education, vocational colleges, and higher education teacher training universities. Now, when you do the Bronze Award, the head teacher always nominates the sustainability and climate change lead, and they go on to nominate 5 support team members. There has to be that hierarchy. There has to be that main leadership team at the top of that system, because we have now found that by having that support system in place, that leader feeds through to the head teacher. They have the support of the head teacher, and they have the support of that underpinning team to take this right through the curriculum. And then once we've achieved that leadership team, we then move very swiftly on to the Silver Award. And then we have a leadership team in each main year group in that school. So for example, in a primary school, you'll have early years foundation stage, which is children aged, what is it, 3 to 5, key stage 1, ages 5 to 8, key stage 2, ages 9 to 11. And in a secondary or a high school, they will be doing the same thing, whether they're in key stage 3, key stage 4, sixth form. And in a vocational college or a further education college or a university, that'll be the main departments in those education outlets. But in Silver, it's a little bit harder. And every single teacher has to do at least one course. Some schools sail through this. They are super motivated and they just move straight through. We also learned very quickly, didn't we, Denise, that teachers needed something to hit the ground running. And that was where you and I said, what can we do to ensure that they have a system in place so that they don't have to go running around? Because we found that they were scattergunning, didn't we? We found on our Facebook group, we just saw the scattergunning, so where people going, oh, I've got a lesson plan, I've got an assembly, and it would get, Facebook would then push it down on the algorithm, and then that would be lost. And so we said, no, we need to build a clearer strategy for our participating Educate Global Award schools. And what we did was we went and added Educate Global onto our learning portal. And here it is. The most interesting part, this is something which we're going to have a separate talk on with Fiona Cowan. We found that teachers were coming back and saying to us, how do we teach climate change? What is the language? What do you recommend? We've gone and done these UNCC Learn courses, but we don't know how to teach climate change. And that became an issue for us right from the get-go, I think. And that was when Fiona said, we need to deliver a clear strategy throughout the school. We need an inset day where we go through the language, what we're going to do, what our strategy is going to be, why we're going to be doing that. And she worked with us to create that how to teach climate change inset training. Now, some schools, the sustainability and climate change lead teacher, they either give all of their teachers access to that to go and watch it online. Most of them prepare to go and watch that themselves and then deliver their own inset training, which is quite interesting. Here, you'll see we've got the Sustainable Schools Virtual Summit. And if you feel that you've got something interesting that you'd like to add to it, get in touch with us, let us know. The other thing that we found interesting was that teachers wanted a system to deliver tangible evidence, tangible action instantly. but they wanted a guideline. So we were approached by a very interesting teacher called Lisa Pugh, and she said, I have that carbon footprint buster challenge, and I want to create this. I've delivered in my school. I've worked on it with my eco club, with the other teachers in the school, and I've got these challenges all set out. So we have filmed that, and she's got a welcome, an introduction, and a launch assembly. She even gives you all of the documents. Here she is. Here's Lisa. And she even gives you the launch assembly as a PowerPoint for you to use. She's got teacher notes, why you do the assemblies, how they work, and then each challenge. Each month, there is a challenge where you and your school can deliver evidence of it. We've come quite a way, I think, in our journey. And once a school has delivered the carbon footprint buster challenge and they have the evidence and they've completed those courses that we've set out for them, and they are ready to move up to the silver award, this is where things really start taking off. What we built was something called mini readers. It used to be called mini climate readers. I like to call it mini climate readers, but some schools prefer calling it mini readers. It's up to the school, really. And that is something that you can deliver within your silver award. And there is a lesson for each month, and it incorporates everything. It is citizenship, PSHE, it is geography, it is, you're going to love it, everything. But we've also gone and built something called Wild Planet Explorers with a biologist called Joanna McFarlane. And we've got two versions of that. We've got juniors aged 3 to 9, and we have kids 9 to 17. So the school, when they choose the silver award, they can choose either mini readers or Wild Planet Explorers juniors or Wild Planet Explorers kids. It depends on the school. They look at it, they decide which they want. This ensures that the school has a clear strategy with lessons good to go to get themselves up and running very, very quickly. Not all schools want to go away and reinvent the wheel and build that cross-curricular curriculum overnight. It's a lot of work. We've spent so much time, and we found the very, very best to ensure that our schools have it all right there to hand. Now, the Gold Award is a whole other level altogether. Denise and I have been looking at the feedback from the schools and the teachers and the head teachers. And something that Asha Alexander said, Asha Alexander was from a school, the Kindergarten Starters in Dubai. They were the very, very first school where every single teacher in the school achieved our climate change teacher course. And she said, where do we go from here? How do we ensure that our teachers keep progressing? And what we did was we reached out. I mean, I've been doing courses left, right, and center for the last year and a bit. And I was searching for that one course that was going to ensure our teachers are the creme de la creme of sustainability and climate change lead teachers. And that is where I found the climate literacy Train the Trainer course. This is exclusively delivered by Educcate Global within the Gold Award, and it is certified by a leading UK university. And the professor that has built this training knows her stuff. This training was actually created for professors and universities. And I don't think she ever expected me to come along and say, would you mind if we transitioned that into something we could deliver to our climate change teachers, to our sustainability and climate change lead teachers? They were over the moon. This is going to be a game changer because of the fact that it is certified by this university. These teachers now have an entry point into our next program that we are going to launch next year, and that is our very own Educate Global University. We are busy building the Educate Global degree course, And that is, it starts out, let me go and show it to you. It is a degree, a professional certificate in sustainability, 1 year of study, 20 credits with 6 courses in it. Denise and I have been getting hold of professors all over the world, and we've been finding the very best modules to be adding into this degree course. Then an Associate of Science in Sustainability, 2 years of study, Bachelor of Science in Sustainability, and a Master of Science, and a Doctor of Philosophy in Sustainability. This is going to be available to not only our climate literacy teachers, but it is also going to be available to students as well. So we have created in the Platinum Award, Pathways to Higher Education, Green Economy, Environmental Engineering, Biodiversity and Permaculture and Farming, International Environmental Law. I'd like to add some more in there, but for now, those are the 4 main Platinum Award pathways to higher ed. We know that not every student is wants to be doing academic subjects. They may have a propensity to be directing in leadership roles. So Denise and I were having a look at how to get these leaders prepared. So something that we had done for something else that was called for Harvard Education. Don't forget, Denise and I are social entrepreneurs, and we have Harvard Education is our main business. Educate Global is our passion project, and it's a not-for-profit. We created something called Get Media Savvy. That was for adults. And it was when we took a look at that and we rebuilt that, and that is presented by a child, a teenager, 2 children, so that we can prepare the pupils to deliver their very own press releases, set up their very own media outlets so that they can share everything they're doing within their Gold Award to a far, far bigger audience. That has been a game changer, and we are now in the process of rolling this out with all of our Educate Global Gold Award schools. We want for these schools to be the top PR and marketing media center hubs, that every school has its very own broadcast media center, that the children can write press releases, the children can use a special media subscription that we include within the Gold Award so that they can send out press releases to thousands of journalists, and we show them how to take those articles and to promote them on social media, their personal social media. We even teach them, Denise is going to be showing them how to build an online campaign, which, you know, I wish I knew all of this stuff before, to build an email list, because yes, many of us still use emails, so that we can start showing these pupils how to build a campaign, how to get an audience behind you, how to build your tribe that then supports you and spreads your message on a global scale. These are preparing these pupils for leadership, you know, leadership. I think that most of them will probably go on once if they've done the degree. I'm hoping that the students will go on to be directors of sustainability in their own businesses, or will go and work for some of the biggest businesses in the world, and they will start doing that transition engineering, the transition towards carbon neutral within those structures from the inside out. And that's really, in a nutshell, what Educate Global is about. This is why we want schools to deliver that cross-curricular climate curriculum. We learned that it's not about lesson plans. When we built the e-library, remember, Denise, we put tons of lesson plans in here. I think we've still got some of them in here. If we go to our archives, here we've got lessons and ideas. We've got our archives. We've got news and current events. We've got, oh my word, we have tons and there you go. There's Denise's. See, I've gone and clicked on hers. But we found that the pupils love going and looking at the news and current events, translating them into other languages, and going and learning about this and creating their own blogs on their take on that and how that affects them. So this is the world's largest e-library of sustainability and climate change learning content. And it is all a work in progress, believe it or not. Even though it looks like we've got it all down pat, we have been building this now for 2.5 years, but it's all coming together in the last few months from all of the feedback that we've been getting from these schools and these teachers from around the world. You know, our climate change teacher course went to 249,000 schools in 43 countries around the world. So that in itself posed a challenge, didn't it? Yeah, it's quite exciting.
It is, and I would like to add that, you know, climate change and sustainability seems to be such a daunting task and something that is just overwhelming. And people talk about eco-anxiety. So we don't want to create anxiety. We want to give you tangible things that you can do on a daily basis to, one, look forward to, something new and different and exciting, and two, something that will set you apart from other schools or other people applying for jobs or helping your kids get that extra edge that they need to become employable and productive citizens. So we've done a lot of heavy lifting for you in the hopes and the plan for you to take the baton and start running.
And we've got one of the talks in our Sustainable Schools Virtual Summit. You've got to go and listen to it, folks. It's Margaret Land. She's the business manager, she's the sustainability manager for a multi-academy trust, 17 schools in the trust. And Margaret tells us how she looked at the spreadsheets, the costs, the spending outlay for the schools. And she just started putting little things into place where she started saving those schools thousands and thousands of pounds. Now we know that we are heading into, or we're already coming through an entirely difficult period where schools have been struggling with their budgets. And if schools can save money by being sustainable, and then she said, it's not about getting solar panels. I think they saved something like £77,000 just by having a campaign of switching off the lights and switching off the electronics. The number is staggering. You've got to have a listen to that. We had Vijaya Satyan Kumari from the Westminster School in Dubai, who said that they saved £3,000 just by going paper-free over, was it 2 or 3 months? That's 88 trees that did not have to be cut down, and they've saved money. So we're going to be hearing from some very, very interesting speakers. We've got a gentleman who's going to join us next week. He's going to be telling us all about sustainable school uniforms. And we've also got Emma Barber from D-Grade, Simply Bottles, where they go and they collect these sort of Fanta and Coca-Cola plastic bottles and recycle them to make polyester, to use that in clothing, school uniforms and jumpers and blazers and things like that. So it's so interesting to know that there are processes that we can be looking at. I had a really interesting talk with a professor that we're going to be working with a lot in the near future. And she said to me about transition engineering. And she said that by transitioning within a particular area, we can rebuild our processes. And I said, I don't understand what you're talking about. And she said, look, many years ago, she said there were some really serious engineering accidents in America. We're talking about almost like about 100 years ago. And she said the deaths were far too high. And there was a particularly bad accident where 63 engineers got together and they said, we're going to form a society and we're going to fix this problem. And what they did, their first thing was they went and they spoke to the workers, because there was a lot of young ladies that died. I will send a link to the book that has everything about transition engineering in it. And what they did was they designed the doors that we now use in all industry and offices, those doors that swing out, so that if we need to get out of a building, and there are always two of them, if there's a fire, we've got those emergency exit doors. And what then happened was another state in America, Philadelphia, the insurance companies said to their big companies and businesses and factories that we're not going to insure you unless you go and do the same as what they're doing in New York, because they have lower death rates there. You go and find out what they're doing. So this spread. This wasn't from the top down. This wasn't from the government. This was from the bottom up and out. So if we can transition, if we can place those teachers and students through this process and learn from these global leaders in education, in climate literacy, in sustainability, in engineering, we are going to have the creme de la creme of individuals who are going to make those changes to ensure we get to carbon neutral and better. These are going to be the individuals that are going to invent the products that we need for our future. They are going to fund them. They're going to go and find them. They're going to promote them. They're going to sponsor them. They're going to pilot them in their businesses or in their practices, wherever they are in the world. And that's what Denise and I want to deliver. We want to ensure that there is a cross-curricular climate curriculum being delivered by the creme de la creme, prepared teachers. We're not here about certificates and badges. Please, if you're listening to this and you think that we're here to deliver a certificate and a badge, then you might as well switch off right now and go somewhere else. We are not here to deliver. That doesn't make change. That does not make change. I mean, we found that very early on, that those teachers that came along that wanted the certificate and the badge, and we didn't hear from them again, that was a waste of our time and our energy. And that really is why we are pushing so hard for these teams, these leadership teams, to drive through sustainability throughout the curriculum and throughout their own communities, because teachers don't just teach children, they indirectly teach entire communities. What are your thoughts on that, Denise? How do you feel about that? Am I just a bit too outspoken?
Well, I think that you're right about, we do need the entire community just to come together in any way it's possible for each person and each family or each school, each classroom. And that includes special education needs, classrooms, families, communities, because every little thing you can teach or have as an activity, it all contributes. Every single little bit counts. And so that is why we are here, to empower you and to get you excited about getting to work every day and excited for your kids' future and your pupils' future. And one thing that's been noticed with the COVID pandemic is a loss of hope for what jobs would be available in the future. Well, it's time to make our own options. It's time to get, on board and figure out how to both get employment or create your own employment, and also at the same time being polite to the planet.
It's funny you say that, because we know we've been working on another project, you and I, and we couldn't believe that in computer science there are jobs that have not even been created yet, and we do not have these pupils coming through with this knowledge, or enough teachers to teach this. And it's the same with climate change and climate literacy. and sustainability. What is sustainability? You know, that's one of the questions. It's only when you start changing for yourself, but then you start thinking, but I'm not, that's just me. I know there's millions of us and we can all live far more sustainably, but it's industry, it's business and industry. Every single business has to be sustainable, every part of their process. And we are going to be transitioning. There are going to be particular systems in place that no longer work in this new era. As we head forwards, we are going to have to pivot and find new ways of energy systems. I mean, we've been chatting to a group of inventors they call themselves the Brand New Day Group, and they've shown us a product that they've invented called Vienga. It is mind-blowing, and they've been blocked for about 30 years for getting this funded. These chaps are in their late 70s, early 80s, and they're still pushing to get this product out there. It's so clever. It's something that sits next to a river and it's like a turbine that can power an entire 20,000, 30,000 homes and businesses in the area. Just a little stream. So there are products out there, there are inventions that are just waiting to be trialed and funded and promoted. So there's industry that's going to be out there and businesses and jobs in this green economy we don't even know about yet. So does it not make sense for us to prepare every single teacher, every single pupil, so that we provide them and get them ready for those skills and earning potential that they can have out there? We've got to be preemptive. We can't be on the back foot with this because we don't have time. And I think, you know, we've seen that our education system, we can't accept those sound bites, you know, where the Department for Education says, oh, we do teach climate change. I think it's in maybe one lesson, or, you know, in geography and GCSE. It doesn't work. The children want more, the parents want more, and we want an employable, you know, we want this employable wave to come through. That's really what it is in a nutshell. So we look forward to all of you joining us, sharing our podcast. If you think that you would love to do a talk for our Sustainable Schools Virtual Summit, please get in touch with us. We know when we did our Recovery Curriculum Virtual Summit, it became a rolling summit. We thought we'd only have about 6 talks, didn't we, Denise? And that was just, I mean, I think we're on about 30 now, and they keep coming. So I know that something similar is going to happen with this, because sustainability and climate change is every single aspect of our daily lives and our futures, because we don't know where we're going to be in the next 20 to 30 years unless we sort out and mitigate and adapt pronto, now, fast, ASAP. What do you think, Denise? Are we on the right track?
We're on the right track, and we're very excited to have you with us on this journey as we grow and learn each and every day. We appreciate those who've been with us for a while and those of you who are coming on brand new.
Yeah. So please, if you feel that your school would like to do the Educate Global Awards, you start off with the Bronze Award. Go to our website at www.educateglobal.org. Don't forget, there's 2 C's in Educate, EDUCCATE Global, GLOBAL.org. And get in touch with us. You'll see everything is there on our website, how it works, what it is. Sign up and we'll get you started. We cannot wait to be delivering hundreds of thousands, millions of sustainability and climate change lead teachers that then move up to be those climate literacy train the trainer teachers. That is going to be the game changer in education globally. We know it. So thank you very, very much for your time. And we look forward to seeing you all on the other side. Thank you very much and goodbye from me, Melanie Harwood, and Denise Meisner here at Educate Global. We can't wait for you to join us. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.